Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Momsplanation podcast. Today, we have actually a very exciting guest on the show today.
Super cool. Super cool.
Yes. I don't know if cool is the right word. It's kind of terrifying what she went through, but she's a cool cat.
She is. I think she went through what every mom fears.
Yeah.
Like pretty much every mom.
And what the internet loves.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm sure people who live locally to our podcast, we're in, Milton, Ontario, have probably heard of this story. This woman gave birth to her daughter on the 407, which is a highway here in Ontario, and subsequently happens to be your direct neighbor.
That's right.
How does that even happen?
How does that happen? And how did I not? This happened because everyone hid it from me.
I know, that's the best part. That actually is the best part.
Yep.
But it's an amazing story. I think my favorite part of the story is the selfie in the car post-birth. I think that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
But
I don't even know if I would have thought to even do something like that, but now they have that forever.
I know, it's awesome. So anyways, her name is Heidi. She's fantastic. It was a great episode to record. I really enjoyed it. And I know you guys will too. So thanks for listening. Have a happy Wednesday.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the Momsplanation. Real life, real moms, real talk.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Momsplanation podcast.
Hey.
Emily's having a burp. Welcome. Today we have a fabulous guest, and we've actually changed recording venues for the first time. Ever. We're not in Christine's house. We're at Emily's house, and we have Heidi here. Hi, Heidi.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah, so Heidi's kind of famous.
Heidi is
Yeah,
famous.
she
Really
is.
famous.
And
Oh, you
famous
totally
for
are.
the most awesome mom thing
Yeah,
ever.
And I'm pretty sure your story made it to Japan? China? No, where did it
Okay,
go?
no, so that was the Chinatown newspaper in Toronto.
Okay, but
But
still.
nevertheless,
Still.
it was written
I mean,
in
who gets to
Chinese.
be in a Chinese paper?
That's pretty good. I've never been in the paper for anything like that.
No, never.
I've had small claims to fame, but nothing like
It
this.
was
No.
pretty wild, not gonna
Nothing
lie.
like this. So you're a mom, obviously.
Yeah,
You have two?
mom of two.
Okay. How old are they now?
I've got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Okay.
He
And
just turned 3.
you're famous for the 1-year-old's entrance into this world?
Yes.
Okay.
That would be it, the 1-year-old. She was a little diva making her entrance for sure.
Okay. So walk us through it. What happened to you? Why are you
Yeah,
famous?
so she's known as the 407 baby.
Okay. And the 407, for people not in Ontario, is a highway
That you have to pay for.
that you have to pay for.
It's the
Yes.
posh highway in
So,
Ontario.
so I'll ask you a follow-up question after we're done.
Okay. Yeah, so Mila was born on the 407, and my labor from start to finish was an hour and a half.
Okay.
So, let me just give you guys context here. My first labor with Jackson, it was 36 hours. So it was like
Wow.
a labor marathon. It just lasted forever and ever and ever.
Oh my
And he got
God.
stuck at 8
Oh my
centimeters.
God.
And then, it was, should we do an emergency C-section or can we try with forceps? And he ended up coming with forceps
Yeah.
eventually after forever.
So how long did you labor at home versus going to the hospital with him?
So I labored at home for 12 hours, probably.
Wow.
Okay.
It was a really drawn out first
Yeah.
Baby.
stage of labor. It just was forever.
Yeah, that's what happened with my first two. It was 12 hours of stupid
Just,
contractions.
but
nothing was
yeah,
happening.
It was annoying.
Yeah, super annoying. I was like, is this the thing? Is it not? I'm a first time mom. I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
And then after 12 hours, I get to the hospital. They're like, oh, you're half a centimeter. And I was
and
like,
we were
you
half a
gotta be
centimeter.
kidding me.
You know what they said to me? They're like, oh, we can't even find your cervix. I'm like, what?
Can't find it.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I have one. Look a bit harder.
I'm pretty sure it's there. Please keep looking. This is really
And
annoying.
hopefully it's a little bit open.
Open it more.
A little bit.
Okay, so it was super bad, obviously.
Anyways, that was Jackson. Different game entirely with Mila.
So how many weeks pregnant were you when you went into labor with her?
I'm always overdue with both of mine. I was over. So
Okay.
I was 41 with Mila.
Okay.
and yeah, I was 8-9 days overdue with her.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was expecting it anytime.
Right. Yeah.
It was just like a regular evening. Like we had people over. At this point, I'm like, forget it. I'm never going into labor. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be pregnant forever.
Yeah, she's living in there. It's
She's
made a
fine.
home.
Just so everyone knows.
Yes, we had my mother-in-law over. We had some dinner, watched a movie, had a big
Yeah.
bowl of ice cream after, went up to bed, got into bed, and then I had like one small contraction. I was like, oh, maybe something.
Yeah.
10 minutes later, another one. 10 minutes later, another one.
Yeah.
So that was 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Grant, my labor was an hour and a half from start to finish. So that's
Okay.
like the start of it. Okay?
So like these little like hiccups,
Was the
like
beginning.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I
These-
had like 3 contractions in half an hour.
yeah,
And I was like, okay, sweet. Like maybe this is like the start of labor, getting excited.
yeah,
And then Joe's like, why don't you just, because I was lying down in bed, he's like, why don't you just stand up, see if that like makes things go a bit faster. So I
Yeah.
stood up, and as soon as I stood up, it was absolute game changer.
yeah,
It, like came on hard and fast, and I couldn't. It was like a tidal wave. I could not control it.
like
At
contraction on top of contraction.
on top of contraction,
Yeah,
and then it would like, and then I would have like a 2-minute break, and there'd be nothing, and then it was like it hit me hard with another contraction.
yeah,
And I just, it was insane. So after 10 minutes, I'm like, hey, you call the midwife. I'm going to the bathroom.
yeah.
And then I got stuck on the toilet for, like, it seemed like half an hour, must say. It was,
Because
like,
you
insane.
couldn't get off.
No, sorry, Tony.
Sorry, Tony.
Tony.
Tony is Emily's husband. She gets to
He's
listen
not
to all the
listening.
details. Let's
But, yeah.
get to know your
Because
neighbor.
he wasn't home when I knew all this shit. This happened to me, right? He missed all this.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He's reliving it
That's
through
right.
you.
No, okay, but honestly, people are like, why didn't you leave for the hospital sooner? And I could not because, honest truth, I was diarrhea on the toilet,
Yeah.
contraction,
Yeah.
diarrhea, contraction.
So
Of
it's
course.
a thing.
Of
Yeah, they
course.
tell you that's like a sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a thing. And then,
Yeah, your body's releasing everything,
yeah.
preparing for the baby. Yeah,
And Joe's like, let's go. I'm like, I can't go.
can't.
I can't go. Like,
Bring a
I need to
bucket.
stay here. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
need to stay here. Or
Yeah.
in a diaper. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can't go right now.
Right.
And then by the time I got off the toilet,
Yeah,
got into my bedroom,
yeah,
I was so far gone into labor land.
yeah,
Like, I went into myself and I
yeah.
couldn't
Of course.
speak. I couldn't make any decisions. I could just only bear with contractions, and that
Yeah.
was it.
Yep, I'm the same way. I internalize pain. So once I'm in active labor, don't talk to me because
Yeah.
I can't
No.
communicate with you any longer.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like this
Yeah, I
fog
feel you.
go into.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very intense. I know some women like scream,
Yeah.
bloody murder. And I never understood that because for me, it's just, I keep it all
Yeah.
inside. It's like all in here.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I screamed.
for sure.
You
Just
did?
screamed.
Oh.
I had nothing else to do.
Yeah, but some people, that's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
different, right? Like some people, that's how they get through the
That's
pain.
right.
For me,
Yeah.
it's like all silence. It's
Yeah.
silent
I
mode.
think I actually sound like a barn animal. Like,
Really?
I sound like a cow.
Oh.
I
Oh.
for sure do.
Okay.
During those contractions at the start.
Excellent. Excellent.
When I'm pushing the
Does it-
baby out, it's
Yeah.
full on screams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See, I'm totally silent. I make not a sound.
Why?
Not. I don't
Awesome.
know.
Your labor partner must love you.
I make not a sound. The only thing I said to him when we had our last child was, "I'm never doing this again." I
Yeah.
looked at him very
Fair.
seriously, and I was like, "Never." And that was it. And that's all I said. And then I pushed our son out, and it was done. That was it. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's that.
Yeah.
Romantic.
It is. It's wonderful and magical. Okay, so you're not talking. You're in very active labor.
So
Joe
in-
is freaking out,
Yeah,
obviously.
he is. His mom showed up at this point.
Which mother-in-laws are usually always
She
helpful.
was so
Yeah.
helpful and prompt.
Yeah.
And then I tried to get back into the bed because that's the only thing I knew to do.
Yeah.
She was like, "No, we're going downstairs. We need to get in the car. We need to go to the hospital."
Okay.
So we're living in Burlington. We're trying to get to Mississauga because we moved from there.
Oh
So
no.
my siblings driving to Oakville, Trafalgar.
Oh, are you going to Credit Valley?
We're trying to go to Credit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hence the 407.
Wow.
Hence the 407.
Yeah.
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 So you get onto the 407.
Yeah. So it was like before.
Are you in the back seat or the front seat?
The front seat.
Okay, you're
Yeah,
in the
I
front
know.
seat.
Did you see the pictures?
No, I haven't seen
No,
anything.
yeah.
I've only heard the story. I've never seen anything. So are you in a van? Are you in a sedan?
She's in her
What are
Dodge.
you in?
Dodge Journey.
Okay, so
Very
it's
reliable vehicle.
an SUV.
Non-leather or leather?
Oh, get this. White cloth seats, okay? Can't...
You're
cream.
shitting me.
Sorry, not white. Cream. Yeah, we didn't choose it. It's a secondary
Love it.
vehicle, so...
You had cream seats, active labor.
yeah.
Awesome. Did Joe put down a bag or anything, or
No time.
No.
No time.
All right.
Time
All
for
right.
that. We
All
just
right.
got
Good.
in.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't have shoes on.
Okay.
My mother-in-law chucked them in the car.
Okay. Awesome. Bye.
So front seat, we were in the car for like 6-7 minutes.
What exit did you make it to? So you
we got
started on
Dundas,
yeah.
and then we call it the Mila Mile.
Okay.
It's basically between Nagawa and
Yeah.
Bronte.
Bronte, okay, yeah.
So close to the Oakville Hospital.
Yes,
too.
we were. We were so close.
You did not make it far.
No. And then, and then in the car, it was just contraction upon contraction, and then my water broke at one point, and I had
on
like,
the cream
it
seats.
was like, oh, yeah, but it was the best thing in the world.
Of course, yes.
It was clarity. I felt I came back into myself for like 30 seconds. I'm like, Joe, we can definitely make it to the hospital. We can do it. And then one contraction later, I felt the ring of fire. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh my God. At that point, that was the first time that I clued in that I was actually going to have a baby.
Yeah.
In the car. Like, before that, I think I was kidding myself. I'm like, no, we can make it. Like, why would I ever have a baby?
Well, why would you get in? You probably wouldn't have gotten in the car if you thought you were going to have the baby in there, right? If it in your mind was like, I'm going to have this baby on the side of the highway, let's go.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't have been like, fuck that, I'm going to stay in my bed and we can just have her here. You had a midwife anyways, right?
That's right.
Yeah. I know. There's something about this block. I'm really glad I don't live here.
When you called the midwife, though, the midwife thought that it would be a good idea to go to the hospital as well?
Yeah.
I guess she didn't realize how far along
No, she
were
didn't.
either.
She was like, can Heidi speak? And just
it was kind of like mine too. Yeah, she was shocked.
Yeah, like, no, she can't really talk. She doesn't want to talk to you right now.
Yeah. She's busy.
She'll take a hard pass on that conversation right now.
Well, like, the midwife knew my background as well. My first labor was long.
Yeah.
And so that's kind
Who
of
knew?
what you thought,
Yeah.
right? Like, you can't predict this kind of
Right.
craziness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ring of Fire is happening.
Ring of
Are you
Fire.
telling Joe to pull over at this
No.
point?
So he kept asking me, should I pull over? And I think I would just shout, no, keep going.
Right. Yeah.
And then,
Pedal
Ring of
to the
Fire
metal.
happened. And then I felt like I'd come out. And I couldn't speak because it was just still happening.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have pants on?
Okay, I managed to, like, take off all my clothes. And
Okay.
I don't know how or what. Joe's like, you Houdini'd them off at some point. 'Cause
Like
I looked
top
over
and
he was
everything?
naked, just full on naked.
She was hot.
Yeah. Okay.
Naked.
Yeah.
Like, it was January 22nd, freezing cold.
Yeah.
There's no heat on my side of the car. It broke like the 3 days before.
Of course.
Yeah.
So it was an ugly hot mess.
Okay. Yep. Awesome.
Yeah, and then so one contraction head, and then the next contraction body, and then she was there, and then she started crying, and then Joe looked over. He was still driving as she was born.
Oh my God.
And then Joe's like, should I pull over now? And I was like,
I guess
yes,
so.
now would be the time to pull over.
And call 911,
Yes.
right?
So we pulled over, and then Joe...
So sorry to interrupt you, but like, are you like, I have goosebumps right now. So are you panicking? Like when she's in your arms and crying and naked and you're naked
100%.
and there's blood probably.
Oh, everywhere.
And like, it's the secondhand vehicle still in your possession?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Dodge, if you're listening, send this woman a new car.
Yeah, she
Dodge.
needs a new car. No cream interior.
Black leather.
So she's in your arms, still attached to the
Yeah.
placenta,
Yes.
screaming. So
Yeah.
what are you feeling inside? Joe's like pulling over, calling 911.
Like, I've never experienced shock before, but that was 100% shock.
Yeah.
I was shaking. I couldn't stop myself from shaking, and I kept asking over and over, is she okay, to Joe? Even though I knew she was. Like, she came out, she started crying. She was pink. She was moving.
Yeah.
So all the signs were there that said she's good. She had like, mucus and stuff coming out of her nose, so I tried to clear it out as best I could. And then, because of the cold air, right? So
Yeah.
He, whipped off his t-shirt. He's only wearing a t-shirt, to cover us up. And we had a bunch of our 2-year-old's clothes in the back, so we just anything to keep us warm because we had no blankets, we had no towels, we had nothing.
Right. Okay.
So just trying to keep me and baby warm as much as possible until ambulance came.
And what was the 911 telling you? Just to stay on the side of the road?
He was great, actually, and we ended up meeting him. He came to visit us.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, the 911 operator?
He's
Oh,
like,
that's
I've
so
never
good.
had a call like that. Usually things don't turn out in such a happy way, so...
Oh, that's so
It
nice.
was very, very sweet, yeah.
So he was just talking to you guys making sure that you're okay, or
okay, so I didn't realize this, but 911 operators have like for every incident that happens, they have like a script that they
go through. Yeah.
I didn't know that. So he basically said, because Mila was born, and then after about 10 minutes, he's like, okay, so you need to tie off the umbilical cord.
Right.
What do you have? And I was like, I've got no string. Like, I've got nothing.
Right.
And he's like, okay, well, do you have shoelaces?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Joe took out a shoelace and tied off the umbilical cord after 10 minutes, and it was weird.
That is a little weird.
It was weird, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just strange to, like, because he had to tie it off as hard as he could.
Right.
And it was just like,
yucky.
Right
normally it's a
I could see that. Yeah.
Well, they clamp it first, right?
Yeah.
Cut it, but like you don't really see all that jazz, or you're not like an instrumental part in that, right?
Right. Yeah. Like, and it's not in your face. Like, you're in really closed quarters, so it's like, the umbilical cord is near my nose. Like, really bear down on it there with your Nike shoelace, Joe.
We kept it. We kept it.
That's fine. I think that who does this happen to? Hardly anyone.
Right?
Yeah. You can give it to Mila, and she can be totally embarrassed by all of it one day.
100%.
So ambulance comes eventually.
Yeah, so they came. And then I had to like get out of the car.
Butt naked? No shoes?
No shoes. No nothing.
Was there snow on the ground?
The baby still attached to me through the umbilical cord, right?
Right.
And it's not like the longest rope in the world, so like it was, Anyway,
and so is the placenta falling out?
No,
like, this is what I envisioned.
Still in.
So for me, it stayed in a long time. They had to like give me a shot to get it out because it.
Oh, because the contractions
the
stopped?
in the leg sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just didn't come out easily, which was annoying.
So you had to walk to the ambulance with your daughter?
So I stepped out of the car, and then they wrapped us in like proper blankets.
Yeah.
And then they brought the stretcher out, loaded us onto the stretcher, and then brought us into the ambulance, and it was so nice. They pumped the heat. It was amazing. It was
nice.
So warm.
Amazing.
It's the first time I actually felt warm in like the entire
experience.
Yeah. But then they snipped the umbilical cord.
Yeah.
And then they had to transport Mila and I in separate ambulances. I still don't know why. But
really?
Yeah.
So they take your baby from you.
Yeah. I was like, wait, really? Like, okay. Yeah, they sent 2 ambulances.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless they thought something was wrong because most car births don't go well. Like, I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, that's super weird.
Yeah.
That's weird. Anybody listening who drives ambulance, please message us. Let us know.
Yeah. They didn't give you any explanation?
You know what, they probably did, but I have so many gaps from that night, and I tried to,
of course.
It just bothers me so much that I can't remember the whole thing from start to finish.
Yeah.
And I've tried, like when Mila turned 1, I sat there like that evening and just trying to remember the whole thing. Because I wanted it special and amazing and like what an experience, right?
Yeah.
But I just couldn't, and I still can't.
Yeah.
So.
Well, because you're in it so deep, right? With the pain management and all that. That's understandable.
Shock, yeah.
And so what is your husband's recollection of this event? Is it much different than yours?
No, it's pretty much the same.
Okay.
Yeah. He tells it really well, actually. So after the whole thing happened, like the news got in contact with us and like.
So how long?
Like, interviews and
how long after?
Got really good at telling the story.
Did he?
Yeah.
How long after did the media start getting interested?
The next day.
Really?
Yeah,
how did they find out?
Okay, so
that's the thing, right? It's like how do they find out?
So the guy who took our call, the 911 operator, told his friend who's in media or whatever. He's like,
I see.
Like, that's what just happened.
So it's not like somebody just like
car birth just happened. Okay. Yeah, and he's like, oh, cool. And he tweeted it, and then because I guess he's affiliated with other news agencies or whatever.
Right.
Global picked it up, and then they sent their camera crew to my hospital room.
So did you end up at Credit Valley or at Oakville?
No, they just brought us to Oakville.
Yeah, it's
no
much
point.
nicer.
Yeah, the baby's here,
Yeah.
so
yeah,
it's closer.
Yeah,
it was nice. Like it was.
It's super nice. I know I've had 2 births there, and it's lovely.
Yeah,
it's lovely.
Nice big rooms.
Yeah, it's very, very good. So the media shows up at your hospital room.
Yeah. Well, they called. They have to ask them. Go through a bunch of procedures and stuff.
Yeah.
And but then they got the green light. They showed up, and then they did like a little.
And that's the one I saw. Yeah, Joe's explaining the story on the news. And
so are you watching it and thinking oh, that's my neighbor?
He hid it from me wherever he went. So he knew about it, but didn't
Tony,
tell me.
You're saying Tony. He that one.
That's right. He didn't want to tell me because I was pregnant and didn't want to freak me out.
Right. Okay.
So I had no idea this entire time, and then I don't even remember how it happened, or one of my friends reposted it on Facebook, and I was like, I recognize these people.
I know these
And
people.
then I was like, hey, Tony, is this our neighbors? He's like, oh, I wasn't supposed to tell you. But I guess you know now. I'm like, well, yeah, I do. That's pretty friggin' awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to know that story either, though, if I was pregnant with my first baby.
But then,
Right?
really, if we flash forward to what happened to you,
Right.
it might have been helpful, actually,
It could have
to
been
know,
me
like,
thinking-
this is what happened to me. Like, look out for this, right? So, Emily's first birth happened last year
43 minutes.
and happened in her bed,
Yeah.
right?
So I could have done the same. I could have gotten in the car and thought we can make it to the hospital, and I might have had mine on Dundas or Brant Street or could have.
Yeah. So I was texting her the morning she had her baby and was like, oh, do you want me to come over? And she was like, no. And I was like, okay. And I went to my doctor's appointment, and then she told me that the baby was born. And I'm thinking, great. Like, I'm going about my business because I was pregnant at the time too.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I was like, oh, Daniel's home now. Can I come and see the baby? So she's like, yeah. So I'm driving to come and see the baby. And I text her. I'm like, what's your hospital room number? She's like, oh, didn't I tell you? And I was like, tell me what? And she's like, I had the baby at home. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I literally looked at Daniel and I was like, she had the baby at home. And he goes, oh, is she one of those weirdo home birthers? And I was like, no! I'm like, she was supposed to have it at the hospital. I don't know what happened. So
But now I have to go and find out.
So now we find out. Yeah. So I was shocked.
But I think yours was probably scarier than mine because you didn't have anyone.
No.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what
I
I mean.
at least was around my husband the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're shitty.
Yeah.
It's
Super
scary.
shitty. I'm surprised you didn't hear me screaming through the walls.
Yeah.
I screamed into a pillow because I was afraid
Yeah.
that my neighbors would think that I was, like, being murdered.
You know what is funny is that, like, I'm a big proponent of, like, trusting your instinct. And however, I never trust my instinct, or very rarely, even though I firmly believe that you should. And that morning when I was texting you and on my way to my doctor's appointment, which isn't far from here, I thought to myself more than once, I should just go over, like, pop over and see. But you know how you don't want to, like, impose on someone and, like, they're in labor. Like, who wants to see their friend?
Was
like,
it in the morning?
hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought more than once. I remember sitting in the waiting room of my doctor's appointment thinking, like, oh, maybe I should go over there. Like, because she wasn't really responding to me.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, I don't want to be an inconvenience. You know what I mean?
Maybe she's sleeping.
Yeah.
Or...
Like, you know?
True.
I never thought, though, in my mind, even when I was thinking that, like, oh, she's giving birth in her bed right now. So
I should not call.
I shouldn't call. You know what I mean? Yeah. So after your experience with Mila, do you want to have more kids?
We're kind of at a crossroads with that right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, we kind of go back and forth.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe yes, maybe no. We're really happy with our two.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Home birth
We'll
next
see.
time?
Well, my midwife has said you have to prepare for home birth next time.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
Because of how fast that last labor was. Even if you want to go to the hospital,
Yeah.
prepare for it just in case.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
and when
yeah.
you prepare, I mean, like, if I would have prepared, it
Yeah.
would have been a lot easier for my midwife because they give you a kit.
Oh, do they?
They do. So, like,
Yeah, I have
everything
no
is in
idea
your
about any of
home.
that.
Oh.
So, like, when she showed up, she kind of, like, walked into the room and was like, oh my God, the head.
Yeah. Oh,
And had to run
no
back
way.
to her car and go get everything. Whereas, like, I think they give you, like, a whole prep thing. Like, I was in between my contractions, I was cleaning the room. Because I knew that the midwives were coming. Like, I was taking the sheets off the bed because I was like, these are Gluckstein. These were expensive. So, like, I ripped those off and, like, same, like, I was getting, like, ready. Like, I had towels ready for them.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
I was, like, crawling to the linen closet to get the towels. But if I would have prepared for a home birth, I probably would have had all that ready.
But this is Emily, like, while
like
she's
a
laboring,
superstar
she's
labor
like,
woman.
oh, I gotta organize this. Oh, contraction. Okay, I gotta go get some towels. Oh, contraction. Okay, how's my makeup?
There's wine and water for the midwife.
Yeah. Do we have snacks out for the midwives? Oh, the head is coming out. Like, that's Emily.
They're here so
That's her
long
personality.
that They do
Wow.
have snacks.
Yeah,
And one
yeah.
of my midwives was vegan.
Yeah.
And she was like, this is the best thing ever.
Can you have more home births? Because I really like it
My
here.
fridge was packed with like hummus and crackers and they
That's
loved
who
it.
she is.
Yep.
That's 100% who you are.
Yep.
wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is
Yeah.
Good for
crazy.
you. I was not like that.
No, I don't think I wouldn't. I'm not even like that when I'm not in labor. Like I'm not looking for towels or, I hardly have anything together. Like there's crumbs on the floor. Like I don't know. I'm not like that at all. That's not my personality. I'm a hot mess. She's wearing a hot mess shirt, but
like
she's
that.
really not the hot mess. I
really
am.
do like that. I keep commenting on it.
Yeah.
Follow her on Instagram. I need to.
We have a promo code.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, Momsplanation 10.
There you go.
Yeah, we're talking about MJ3 and Co.
Yeah.
Melissa, you're the
Hot
bomb.
mess mom. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how's the interior of your car?
My mother-in-law was tasked with cleaning it out. So,
You shitting
she took it to a detailer.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I was gonna say.
Imagine that detailer. What the fuck happened
Well,
here?
She had to preempt them. She was like, just so you know,
Blood.
no one died in this car. My daughter-in-law gave birth, so yeah.
Was
And
it a
there
crime
was-
scene?
It was full-out crime scene.
Okay.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I wish
So
I-
she could
I
have been a
wish- yeah.
serial killer
Lying,
going to a
saying,
detailer
yeah,
saying,
clean this.
there's no bodies in the trunk anymore, but
100%. Like, there's
Yeah.
tons of blood.
yeah.
So, yeah, there was 3 guys that had to clean it out. There's, an older guy and then 2 younger guys.
Yeah.
And the older guy's like, believe it or not, this is not the worst I've ever seen. And the
What?
two other guys are like, this is the worst. This is the worst we have ever seen.
Right.
You just be nice.
Right. Yeah. He was just being kind to your
Oh, I know,
mother-in-law.
You never know what he's seen, so.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's hilarious,
Right?
though.
And then what did 407 do for you guys?
Yeah, they were amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out to 407.
Yeah.
Well, this was going to be my follow-up question. Was does Mila get to drive on the 407 for life, for
That would've
free?
been
You would think.
better.
Yes.
No.
No?
No, we got, they sent us $1,000 gift card to Babies R Us.
Oh.
Awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, for new car seats.
Oh. That's nice.
Yes, because car seats are expensive.
Yes, they are. Yep.
And they also gave us a bunch of gift cards for free travel in the 407.
Oh.
We had 6 months free travel after that because they asked us to come back and do a little talk.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a 407 talk?
No, it was like I forget what kind of-
PSA, everyone. If you're having a baby on a highway, the 407 is where it's at.
Place to be.
This is an ad for the 407.
It was more or less like that, but not as blunt as that. Yeah.
My daughter,
I was like,
Mila,
I
407
was
Jones, is loving the place where she was born. Like that sort of thing.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It was like that.
Okay,
There was,
awesome.
500 people in the audience. And
Really?
Yeah, they called up they had big sponsors and people that I don't know. Anyways, I just had to go up there and say thank you so much to 407 for everything you've done for us. You've been so helpful. We felt safe on your highway. It's reliable. Da, da, da.
Great place to have a child.
Wow, honestly, it's
Yeah.
way better than the QEW.
Yeah.
Or the
Right?
401,
Think about
yeah.
potholes
Yeah, oh yeah.
in
Potholes,
labor,
and there's more, I
right?
think,
Yeah.
room on the side to pull over on a 407.
And less
100%.
traffic.
Yep.
Also,
So the ambulance
Yeah.
probably got there faster because it was 407.
Yes,
That's true.
absolutely.
It's true. So truly, I know I was being facetious and joking, but the 407 is the place to have your baby if you're in the Ontario GTA area and must do so.
Yes, highly recommend it.
Excellent.
Wow.
Excellent. So how many interviews did Joe and you do?
Yeah, Joe did most of them because I was like, I'm not into this.
Yeah.
It's all you, buddy. It's
Yeah.
fine. I think he did 4 or 5,
Okay,
maybe
nice.
6. Bunch of radio
Yeah?
stations called. We pretty much were just saying the same thing. Joe had it down to a fine
Yeah.
art. He had his
Yeah.
punchlines all lined up. He was
Nice.
good.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, he was good.
That's awesome. So have you scrapbooked it for Mila?
We've got
Articles
all,
and stuff?
all the full newspapers. I
Yeah.
still have to do the scrapbooking. But
Yeah.
yes, we've got the materials.
How many newspapers was she in? Were you in?
6.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's
Including
pretty much-
Chinatown.
It's one of them wrote one article, and I don't know, but they all just reprinted
Yeah, they
it.
Yeah.
they
They
copied
must
and
buy it off of
pasted
each
it.
other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they must. I
Yeah.
don't know how it works, but there's only 2 different ones, I'd say.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's very interesting though how TV works, right? When you get to be on TV, it's
Yeah.
it's so funny.
Yeah.
I had this random story happen to me. It's not baby related, but do you know who Colin and Justin are?
That's right.
Do you know who
They're
they're like
the
the
decorator
decorating guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I got tagged on this thing in Instagram by someone that I went to high school with who I've not talked to in probably 18 years. But you're friends on Instagram,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So it's whatever. So she tags me on this thing. I'm like, what the fuck is this thing? I don't even follow Colin and Justin. I knew who they were, but I wasn't following that at the time. Anyways, so I go to this post and it's this hideous picture of me from my grade 8 graduation. And I'm like, what the actual fuck is this?
Were you wearing a tiara?
No, but I looked hideous. It was if you can think of the most ugly picture of yourself as a 13-year-old, that's what this was. It was an awkward, terrible time for me. I've done better recently. Anyways, I digress. So I'm like, what the fuck is this? And so I look into it further, and basically they have bought some piece of furniture from Restore. You know Restore?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So they bought this piece of furniture, and my hideous picture was in the drawer.
What?
Yes, and some like random paperwork. So it turns out that this piece of furniture had belonged to my grandmother.
Oh, wow.
And when my grandfather died and we emptied out their apartment here in Toronto, we donated all their furniture.
Right.
And somehow these like random straggly pieces just got missed. Lucky me that thousands of people got to see my hideous face. Right. Anyways, so this day that this happened, I messaged them and I said, this is me. The woman whose name is on this paperwork, Helen Hunt, is my grandmother. This must have belonged to her. I shit you not, like within 4 hours, I had people from Global News, City TV, like all these things asking me if I could do an interview that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes,
and I had a baby at the time who was only 4 months old. Yeah. And I was like, what? Like, so they're like, can you get down to downtown Toronto by this time? And I'm like, I guess. I'm like,
sure.
Maybe.
It's kind of cool, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I'll do it. So, like, then my sister is like, I want to come. So I was like, okay. And it was this totally bizarre day. Like, it wasn't real. It felt like not real life. I don't know if you had this feeling. Because it's like all these, like, people are like, okay, so talk like this and pretend like this and say this and do that. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. And it just happened so fast. And then we were on the news that night.
That's crazy.
I was like, oh, this is so weird. And my kids were going crazy. They were like, my mom's on the news. And it was like for nothing. Like I was on the news for nothing.
Yeah. That's cool.
But I was on the news. But it's amazing, the turnaround time on these stories.
It happens fast. And like, they message you all like at the same time.
Yeah.
And they
like inundate. Yeah. Can you do now, not later?
No, you just had a baby, but
they did start.
We're gonna come to your hospital room.
That's how the conversation started. I know you gave birth on the 407 today, but however, we are going to be there in 7 minutes. Is that okay? Someone is actually standing outside of your hospital room now. You may hear his breathing outside the door. Can he come in? Was it like that?
It was like that.
Basically, yeah.
They were awesome though. The girl who interviewed us was very nice.
Yeah, they're very nice. Yeah. Like I'm not shitting on media people. It's just funny how prepared they are.
I know.
It's like where are you?
Have to be though.
But it's like where are you waiting? Like, are you waiting somewhere? Like, how do you get here so fast? Are you always awake? Are you vampires? Maybe you don't sleep. Yeah. Who knows? That's awesome. That's awesome. So have you written it down? Like, how do you plan on sharing it with Mila?
I am like such a birth story person.
Yeah,
I
okay.
love them. When I was pregnant, I loved reading about all the crazy birth stories.
Yeah.
Like at One Born Every Minute, I was addicted to that show as a teenager. So I'm like...
That's a show?
I've never heard of that.
What channel was that on?
TLC, I'm pretty sure.
What?
Growing up, yeah.
I used to be like, I really enjoyed that monster voice that you just did. I really like that. That's new.
I don't know about this show.
I was a TLC addict, so
was I.
I don't know about this show.
Okay,
I know about...
You need to get onto it.
You too. I'm sure we can find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's not still on.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I know about...
It for a long time.
I didn't know I was pregnant on TLC.
That
Remember
show's
those?
fucking weird.
I know, that was
that's
weird.
Very strange.
Yeah, like how did you not know? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
I don't know.
Thought I had gas.
I think
for
it
9
happens
months.
to people.
It must.
I always thought it would just happen to people who are really large, right? So it's like you're large, and then you don't notice that you have a belly because you already had one, right?
But then the kicking gas. Like
I don't know. I don't know.
Questions.
Yeah.
If you know you're pregnant.
Okay, so you always like birth stories.
I always liked them. Yeah. So anyways, I wrote down my birth story as soon as it happened because I wanted to try and remember it all.
Mm-hmm.
That's so nice.
And like, if you think about it, it's like the first page of someone else's book.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Yeah, very cool. Yeah. I like that you put it that way. That's very cool. Yeah. I don't have any interesting birth stories. You both have interesting ones. I bet you do. No, I have 4 and they're very boring.
I like them all.
Yeah, well, that's good. Mine are not interesting at all. I think I could have had Forbes in a car or somewhere. I really didn't want to go to the hospital with my 4th child.
No?
No, because I was like, with my 3rd child, the hospital was very annoying.
Okay.
So basically what happened with my 3rd child is my water broke and they thought it had broken all the way. but they missed a second membrane. Oh. Did you know you could have a second membrane?
Nope.
No, I didn't know.
No idea.
So they missed it. So they left me in labor for ever, basically. And I looked at Daniel, who's my partner, and I said, these people don't know what they're doing. He was like, what? I was like, they don't know what they're doing. And he was like, okay, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to go home. And he was like, no, we're not going home. So they were like pumping me full of drugs to accelerate my labor. And I knew nothing was happening because it wasn't painful enough. I'd had 2 babies before. Yeah. And my daughter, my second daughter, who's also a Mila. So great name.
Wow.
Yeah. She was born very quickly. Yeah. Like my water broke like at 7 a.m. I didn't think about it because I had the marathon birth like you for my first child. So I didn't think about it. So I went to sleep. Yeah. Right? Like I was like, oh, it's 7:30. I'm really tired. My water broke in my bed. I changed the sheets, had a shower, and went back to sleep. Because I called Credit Valley and they were like, oh, don't worry. You can like you can come in like an hour or so. Wow. So I was like, oh, fine. So like I went back to bed. Yeah. And then I woke up in terrible pain. And she was basically born like 12 minutes after I walked in the door of the hospital.
Wow. That's best case scenario. That way you don't have to spend that much time there.
Yeah, no, it is. It really is. Like they checked me and they're like, oh, you're 9 centimeters. They wheeled me to the room and they're like, oh, you're 10 centimeters. And I wanted to go to the bathroom. They're like, no. Anyways, so she was born very quickly, right? Like, so it was like nothing. So when I was having my third, I knew that something was wrong. I was like, they're doing something wrong. Yeah. Because my water had.
Gut, like you're talking about
right, exactly. Right? So it's like trying to be nice, but I'm not good at being fake. So
especially
I was like,
labor, no one's nice. Like,
no, it's like I wanted to tell you, like, fuck you. Like, you don't know what you're doing. But then I was like, whatever. So they just left me all night. And then this doctor that came on was like, well, the nurse that started in the morning was like, something's going on here. This shouldn't be happening. This is your third baby and you've been here for 12 hours. Yeah. Like, this is not, like, something's wrong. So she got the doctor to come in and check me. And the doctor checks me and I'm like lying there, like really like, what the fuck? And she's like, guys, the second membrane hasn't been ruptured. So basically, once my water broke, she was born like 10 minutes later.
Oh my god.
So that whole time.
After I had been there for like all night, all day, all night. Yeah.
So one little poke would have changed everything.
Infuriating. I was so infuriated.
Yeah,
anyways.
I'm so glad I know this now because I always only thought that there was one sack of water.
So did I. So then when I was having my fourth,
check my sacks.
Yes. No. I was having really bad pains in the morning, right? And I was just like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. And Daniel's like, what do you mean you don't know? And I was like, I really don't care. Like, I'm not going there to spend the whole day there, okay? He's like, okay, well, we're going to go drop off. Because my older kids were in school. So he's like, it was a Wednesday. He's like, we're going to go drop off Daenerys at my parents'. And I was like, okay, sure. Like, I was very like, whatever. Like, I was having bad pains, but, you know, they weren't 5 minutes apart and they weren't blah, 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 whatever. So we go to his parents and his mom is looking at me. She's like, do you think it's it? And I was like, I don't know. She's like, what do you mean? It's your fourth child. I was like, I don't know. Like, don't impose that on me. Like, I'm supposed to know. Like, I don't fucking know. Like,
but especially when your labors are so different.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
Of course you don't know. You don't. So, you could be surprised again by a third membrane or whatever. Like,
like, I don't know. Leave me alone. This hurts. I hate my life. Leave me alone. So I called the hospital and she's like, well, it's your fourth. You should probably come in. And I was like, fine, fuck it. So Daniel's like, do you want me to come in or should I just park? I'm like, let's park. Like, literally, I could not give 2 shits about going to the hospital. Yeah. And they didn't even have, the funniest thing is like, everything was just going with my mood, right? So we like arrived there, you know, we're like, oh, we called. Like, they don't care. They're busy, right? Like, they're real busy. So they're like, we're going to have to get a nurse from another department to check you. We don't have anyone. So I'm like, whatever. I don't care. Like, this is literally my attitude. I'm like,
not cool.
Like, Brian from, ultrasound, he can check me. No problem. So at some point, Dolores from somewhere shows up. And she's like, okay, I'm going to check you. I'm like, whatever. And she's like, oh, you're 8 centimeters. And I was like, oh. Yeah. Like, that sounds about right. So at some point they left me all by myself. Daniel went to register me and something, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have this baby now, and there's no one here."
Red button.
Like I was by myself, and I was like, "I'm pushing now. Does anyone care?" Like that's literally what's happening in the hospital. There was nobody in the room. I don't know where he went. Like I have no idea.
Child syndrome.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay, I'm holding my own legs, no problem. So.
And did you? Like, did you?
Yeah, I started pushing on my own. There was nobody there.
My God.
Yeah.
So.
Did they make it there?
Yeah, they made it back.
Oh, great.
Eventually,
Someone
I don't.
got the baby.
Yeah, someone. No, the doctor came back. She was like, "Fuck, Christine." She's like, "All right, let's do this." She knew because she was there with Daenerys. She was the doctor that had delivered my daughter, so she knew I was going to have him very quickly. Yeah. Once it started.
The water broke.
Yeah, we had this weird connection, me and this doctor, because I decided to have her as my OB the second time around. She wasn't my OB with my third child, but she delivered my third child, and I just loved her, and we had this connection. So I went through the whole process with her this time. And she literally looked at me on, I think it was August 28th. It was the week before my son was born. And she was like, "Come in. I'm working at the hospital on September 5th, and let's have this baby together, okay?" Wow. I shit you not, that's when I had the baby.
But just by accident.
I don't know. She just said that to me. She's like, "September 5th, let's get together and have the baby." And I was like, "Okay."
Crazy.
And she was like, "Here we are, September 5th." Yeah, and then I had my son. And he was born really fast. I think I pushed him twice, and he was like, "Hi." Yeah, and that was it. Yeah.
I didn't push, actually. No, I take that back.
Yeah.
It's just like my body pushed.
Yeah, don't tell people that because women listening will be like, "Fuck you, lady."
No, but it's not.
Fuck you.
It wasn't any less painful. At all.
Still the Ring of Fire.
But,
it just
the Ring of Fire was not the bad part for me. It was the contractions leading up to the water breaking. Everything past water breaking was like relief. I was like,
yeah, but don't you hear about these women that push for like 5 hours or something? And I'm like, what?
Yeah, no.
I'm like, I have like 3 pushes and my babies are out.
Yeah.
And people are like, "What? I pushed for like an hour and a half." I'm like,
how?
Why?
Yeah, I pushed for whatever a couple minutes and I was dead. I don't know how women do it. I don't know. Like kudos.
I pushed for 2 hours with Jack.
Yeah, kudos.
Not fun.
Yeah, I can't.
But
I can't even
like,
imagine.
capped up with like a epidural.
Yeah, see, I've never C4 babies, no epidural, never. Yeah. I'm not about that life. I don't know why. People think I'm crazy, but you know why? Do you want to know the real reason why? Is my great grandmother? She had 3 boys. Okay. None of the boys were less than 13 pounds. Okay? They were born in the 1920s. In the 1920s, you know, they were sending women out to the field. Like, you go out there and scream and you have these babies. Yep. So I'm thinking if my great-grandmother can have 3 babies over 13 pounds without any epidural and without dying, like, I'm pretty sure, like, I can give birth to my 7-pounders. You know?
100%. I totally agree with you, though. Like, birth connects you with women in the past, and it's crazy. You join this like mama's club.
Yeah,
it's real.
Yeah, absolutely,
like,
absolutely.
I never looked at my mom. I will never look at her the same. You know.
Yeah.
She had 6 babies. I'm like, how?
Your mom?
Yes.
Wow.
She had 6.
Yeah. Daniel's great grandmother had 13.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What?
Yes. So she was told. Today she could have. She was told that she couldn't have kids.
Wow.
At one point. And so she adopted, and I'm going to get this wrong probably, but she adopted, I believe, her husband's sister's son because they couldn't take care of him. There was something that transpired and she ended up adopting him. So they adopted him, took him in, and then subsequently went to have basically a child every year for the next 14 years.
For someone who couldn't have babies.
Yeah. But can you imagine? Like, what the fuck?
That's
So we get together now as a family. Like it's his family, but I get to be included in it now. And when we get together at Christmas, like it's, you know, like almost 100 people. Like it's so many people because the family has extended so much. And I think it's like a beautiful thing, but I can't imagine having that many children.
How?
Like for me, 4 is a lot. Like it's a lot.
If you have them like once every year, your 13-year-old will now help you with the 100%. Newborn.
Yes.
Like that's
they start to take care of each other for sure.
My mom said it was all the same after 4.
Yeah.
Like, because I was old enough, like you say, to change diapers, to take kids places.
Yeah.
Babysit.
Yeah. See, like for me, my oldest is a boy and he's very helpful for sure, but not to the point where I can like leave him with the baby.
Yeah.
No.
You know, not that my baby likes to be left with anyone, but
Velcro baby.
no. But yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. I just can't imagine. But I do definitely have a different regard for, women, right?
100%.
As like a being. Our bodies are amazing. It's amazing. And I'm very encouraging to women. I get it. Labor is hard and it's shitty. I feel very strongly that the epidural is not necessary. It's just really not.
Yeah, I think it truthfully depends on your circumstance.
Yeah.
I think that too. Yeah.
Like what you've been through, right? Like, for example, if, like, for me, like, I had to almost have, like, an emergency C-section.
Yes.
So they had to tap me up to, like, a spinal, right?
Right, because you had to have a surgery potentially. Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it just kind of depends.
Yeah, I don't know. I really feel like you can do it, right?
Yeah,
it's mind
100%.
over matter, right? Like it fucking sucks, right? Like every time I'm in labor, this is what I think. It's like the pain comes back and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. I fucking hate this. Why am I doing this again? Because it's the worst. But you do forget and then it hits you and it's like, oh fuckers. Yeah. Like now I remember what this is. But it's mind over matter, right? Like,
but times have changed now too. Like I remember when we did our classes.
Yeah.
Like when my mom had me in the 80s, it was like you could choose.
Yeah.
Like you could decide to have a C-section.
Yes.
And you'd be like, oh, well, I'd really like to have a baby on a Saturday.
Listen, in the States you can
the
States you can still do this because women, like, let's just take a moment for, like, saving our vaginas, which is essentially what women are doing. Yeah. They're booking C-sections because they don't want to ruin their vagina. Mm-hmm. So they have a C-section.
They're choosing their baby's birthdays. Oh, 15 sounds nice.
Yeah.
Let's book it there.
Right.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what it was like in the 80s. Like my mom, my head was in the right place.
But you're facing up?
I was facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, C-section. Whereas
automatically.
Now, where they'd be like, well, your baby's in the right position. They're just flipped around. So this is just going to hurt a little bit more. Yep. Right?
Yeah.
But back in the day, they'd be like, C-section. Oh, don't worry, C-section. Everything was like C-section, C-section,
Well, they're trying to get away from that. Like, they want people to have a natural birth. They don't want people to have...
That's what I mean. Look at the change, right? From the 80s to now.
Well, even the nurses that I've encountered, they really are encouraging of no epidural. And, they'll say, many have said to me, like, it's very rare to find a woman today that will willingly have a natural birth.
But then now you had
a natural birth?
Yeah. Like, I find that women that go with midwives are much more open to a natural birth or, like, encouraging or, like, championing. I don't know. I'm not speaking the right word. But, they're very... like they want to have a natural birth, but the hospital ladies are all about like drugs. Give me the drugs.
It's the labor funnel, isn't it?
Yeah.
The doctors deliver.
Yeah. Makes their job easier too because they don't have to listen to you scream. So
or move around or go in a position that maybe is not ideal for them to stand in
and that's why I really liked my doctor. She was a female. She was very encouraging of what I wanted. And like she encouraged, and I would hear her because she had a very nice office, but like there were 3 rooms and you could hear her talking to the lady next door. I mean, the walls weren't, very thick. Yeah. So, she was very encouraging. I could hear her encouraging people like to have a natural birth just for the benefits of recovery and connection to your baby and your body will tell you if something's wrong. Like there's just greater connection to your body. You don't have that numbness from the waist down that makes you really disconnected from what's happening. So that's why I love her. Yeah. So if you're looking for an OB in Oakville, her name is going to escape me right now. No. She was my after doctor.
Oh, she's cool.
I'll think about it. But anyways, I love her. She was fantastic. She was so good.
Now, you had the epidural for Jackson.
Yeah.
Now, recovery time for that versus...
Mila.
Right, okay. So I think that this, like, he just absolutely destroyed me, Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had forceps. He was a forceps babies, which they don't do in Canada, I don't think, anymore. But I didn't have him in Canada. I had him in the UK. So
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, that's a good question.
Yeah. I don't
Is Joe from the UK?
No.
Okay.
We lived over there for 6 years.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Side note.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was fun. It was good.
Okay.
I liked it. Anyways, but yeah, yes, it was very painful, and it took me a really long time to recover. It was
so. Did you still feel?
Okay, yeah. So with Jack, I labored naturally until like 3 hours into being stuck at 8 centimeters.
And then they did the spinal.
And then I like begged for an epidural.
Yeah.
Because in the UK, they're not.
Yeah.
They don't really like to do, like, as much as possible, they'll push the natural birth as well. But anyways,
you had it.
They gave me, so Jack was back to back, like you, like sunny side up, facing the wrong way, and he was like looking over his shoulder, and they were coming through together. So it was like, and my cervix wasn't facing properly, so it was like, triple whammy of just crap.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, so it wasn't.
But you delivered him.
I did deliver.
You didn't have a C-section.
Yeah, no, vaginally, yeah.
Good for you.
Okay, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
But it took me forever to recover. And with Mila, oh my god, it was like, I could like skip the next day. I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, Joe, this is amazing. I can,
I did laundry after she was born because my sheets were dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went downstairs and don't do the stairs. And I was like,
this is her personality.
I have to do the laundry.
That's insane.
Yeah, because they, like, I just felt great.
But that's what people would come and visit me at the hospital and they'd be like, oh, like, you don't even look like you gave birth. And I was like, yeah, because I'm not on any drugs.
Yeah.
Like, you know what drugs I'm on? A Tylenol. Like, I'm having a Tylenol for my cramps.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not groggy. I'm not coming out of a fog.
That was the biggest thing for me, the difference in, like, after once the baby's born.
Yes.
Like, with Jack, I was so drugged up with everything. I was, like, a bit loopy. It was a long time anyways.
Yeah.
But they put him on my chest. I'm like, oh my god, I looked at him, and I threw up.
Right.
Like 2 seconds later.
Nice.
I was like, take the baby. Like, I can't have the baby on me right now because I'm going to throw up.
Right, yeah.
But with Mila, like, it was totally different. They talk about that euphoric feeling that you feel after giving birth, and I totally had that with her.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you look at her, and I thought she was the most beautiful baby in the whole world.
Of course.
And I was in love, and and it was just, and don't get me wrong, I love both my kids, but it was so different in, like, the aftermath of
for sure.
having them.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think I do put that down to the epidural.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh,
and
for sure.
also, like, forceps and length of labor, too.
Yeah.
Everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, I looked, like, not that tired after Mila, but it was only an hour and a half. Like,
that's right.
That's
it. Like going for a really long, hard run.
Yeah. Go to the gym.
That's right.
Yeah.
With pain. Bit worse than that. Bit worse.
Well,
with some pain. Ring of fire.
Well. Yeah, the vice grips in your hip bones. Like, that's a little aggressive. I wouldn't go back to that gym. I would tell you that much.
All right, fine.
I would not. Even if my body looked incredible. I would never go back there. That is for sure. So the doctor's name is Andrighetti. My brain is coming back. Yeah. Santina is her first name. Her last name's Andrighetti. And she's the best. And I love her. And I will love her forever. I will never see her again.
Yeah.
But I will love her forever.
Yeah.
So.
I know. You have that, like, connection with either a doctor or a midwife or a nurse.
You know what is funny is I had the same doctor with my first two. And I never felt that way about her the way that I felt about this woman. And I think it was just because of, like, who she was, essentially. She just connected. Yeah, we just had something. And she really made my experience of being pregnant and having my children, like, just enhanced it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, birth stories are crazy. They are crazy. Yeah. You two win. That's for
winning.
sure.
No.
You are winning at the birth stories.
I wouldn't necessarily call that winning.
I think it is. I think it's so, well, if you have a third, you'll have to let us know how that goes.
Yes.
We'll be there with the cameras. We're going to podcast this shit.
Yeah, it's good. Live on the podcast.
Seriously.
Heidi's having another baby.
My next baby, I
want
to have a birth photographer.
Oh, that's exciting. I have seen this. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially because I've got major gaps with Mila, and it bothers me. Yeah. So I feel like if I just have, like, pictures all the way through of everything.
You'll be like, oh yes,
and then this happened, and then this, and then also, like, I, birthed my own baby, but I haven't seen it come out. So I know. I think that would be cool.
See, the thing that I think that's awesome because I saw recently pictures that, I don't know if you saw this on Instagram, Hillary Duff shared of her giving birth to her daughter at home in the pool. I considered for a small second, it was very small, like having another baby, like just so I could have that moment again and document it forever because I don't have that. And I thought it was so beautiful for her to share that, those very, very special moments. So I just thought it was so beautiful. And it made me think differently about the home birth situation. Yeah. Because it just looked so cozy, like so warm. You know what I mean? Like with her partner there, and like
I
you know, the
think in some
pool
cases,
and
like,
stuff.
It actually helps to speed along labor as well.
Mhm.
They
That's
talk
what they
about
say.
like oxytocin, and as soon as you go into like a hospital setting, it's
It's
like
sterile.
chills, oxytocin. And
Yeah.
you're,
It's fear-inducing,
yeah,
right? Like, it
100%,
makes you
which
feel
stalls labor.
nervous. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I could totally see that. So home birth or
Fine.
407, either
Either or.
is
Dodge.
good. Yeah, Dodge. Dodge, this woman needs a car.
Dodge.
Have we said that yet?
Dodge.
She needs a new one.
2 seats, please.
Yeah.
Something.
Just something that doesn't remind me of giving birth on it.
Is it weird when you sit in the passenger seat?
It-
Like, do you think about it every
Okay,
time?
So no, not now,
Okay.
but it was weird coming home with Mila in the car seat, and like my seat was still like wet from being clean. It's freaking weird. It's so weird.
I can imagine.
I sat
Oh,
here.
Joe, my
Like,
butt's
Joe,
getting wet.
Joe, you couldn't have sprung for a rental. Joe, come
You would think the
on.
news or something would
Global
have a
news.
limo.
Where is my chauffeur home?
There's a garbage bag.
Yeah. Joe, the garbage bag,
So yeah.
towel, anything. Help a girl out here. I got enough juices coming out of me. Like, I don't need to sit in a wet spot.
Amazing.
Wet butt, not fun.
Yeah. Were you not wearing the Depends diaper after or no?
No,
Yeah.
not after.
Oh.
I should have been, but yeah.
Yeah, this is my PSA to all new moms is like, don't
Yeah.
fucking bring a pad.
Yeah.
It's a diaper.
I'm so
You
glad
need a
you
diaper.
like the diapers because I love the diapers.
She told me to buy them, and I did.
I
and it was-
live
yeah.
in diapers for a good 2 weeks after I birthed
I bought the
children.
Costco giant pack.
Yeah, you can get cute ones that look like underwear.
They're flowers.
They're way better than pads. I shit you not. One of the nurses, she was like, "Oh, she's like, you have experience. You have the diapers." I'm like, "Yeah, I have diapers." She's like, "I shit you not. Women come here with thong panty liners
You're kidding.
and nothing else." Yeah, yeah.
not a
First time,
joke.
first time moms. Yeah, I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
What's a panty liner gonna do?
I don't know. Like, does no one talk to you?
About how much blood?
Is no one telling you about this?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know. I recently saw something on a Facebook post where it's like, some woman was like, I'm a first-time mom, and I really appreciate everyone being really honest, but can we talk about the lovely things about birth? And I was like,
right.
lovely things?
Like
Why
what?
don't you just say you want to be lied to? Like,
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
like it's nice to have a baby, but why don't you just say lie to me?
Yeah.
Like, I don't really want to know.
Like, it becomes lovely, I guess, like maybe 6 months later when you forget all the hard things.
Yes.
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 Right?
Like, I can look back on it fondly-ish,
Yeah.
but I don't ever want to do it again. I know that for sure.
Unless it's in a pool, like Hillary Duff.
Yeah, maybe. And I have millions of dollars
Yeah.
like her, and I
Also-
don't have to worry about money or whatever.
Anything.
Yep.
Anything. Yeah. Yeah. Something like that. But yeah, I don't think I would ever do it again.
You, Emily? Putting you on the spot here, sorry. It's
I
your
don't know.
podcast,
I'm
I
not
shouldn't
there
be doing
yet.
this.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. I
Yeah.
think that for me, like Caleb is my oldest. He's going to be 11. I was 24 when he was born. I had no idea about life or anything. So I started young. If I hadn't started that young, I wouldn't have 4.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I told myself after I had him that I would have no more.
Yeah. And here we
It's a
are.
lie that I told myself. And then after I had my Mila, I was 27 when she was born. I said no babies after 30. I had this like weird, like, oh, I'm like in my 20s. I'm so cute. Like I'm never having babies in my 30s. That's so
Yeah.
old. Ow.
And here we are.
And here I am. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So, I don't know. It's funny. You can, like, be in a place where it's like, no, I'm never having any kids, and then be like,
Yeah.
me
Have your
and-
days where they do something adorable,
100%.
and then you're like, oh.
Yeah,
And then they're an
yeah.
asshole, and you're like,
Yeah, I feel like now, you know, especially with my sister and sometimes with other people who have kids, I feel like I'm like becoming like a PSA for like don't have too many because your life might look like this. You know what I
Come
mean?
to my house.
Yeah, come on over. I'm good birth control. You know, like pretty much, right? Like I've started to become that. Like it's a shit show where
It is.
I live. You can come
It's
over
great.
anytime if you're on the fence. Joe, you want to come over? Thinking about a third baby? Oh.
Oh, well, Mila
Yeah.
doesn't sleep through the night right now, so she is good birth control as it is at the moment.
Yeah, well, neither does
Hard
my
work.
son. Yeah, I mean, basically what happened, like I told Daniel when I was laboring and birthing Forbes that we were never having any more Because he's like under this impression that we could have 1 million and it would be like magical, right? And he's very sweet and that's fine. But the answer is no. And then, you know, my son just became the firm word for his father. Like, no, we are never having any more children because he's that difficult.
Okay.
Yeah. Like he has screamed nonstop since he's been born. Yeah, he's 7 months. Yeah, oh yeah. He doesn't like anyone but me.
Yeah.
Like no one. Like don't even look at him. He'll cry at you.
Go to the washroom.
Yeah, like don't even look at him. Don't look at him. Like he doesn't want to look at you.
Yeah.
He's getting better, but it's been a rough go.
Rough 7 months.
Yeah, so he's basically solidified the no more children.
Done.
So yeah. We're there.
Yeah, mine is so good that I'm afraid.
Yeah, well, I mean,
what if it's worse? Like, she's so good. Like,
but that's why when I was pregnant with Forbes, we didn't worry because Daenerys, like my third, Daenerys is such a good baby. Like she was a nice baby. She was like hardly ever cried. She just was so pleasant and easy.
let's have another one of those.
I mean, she didn't really sleep. Like she liked cat napping. She was like a 20-minute napper, but often.
Yeah, okay.
But delightful. Like she wasn't yelling at the top of her lungs or screaming or anything. So she was like a delight, and I could put her down and she would like do her thing, and like it was fine.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, we're having another baby 16 months later, no problem.
Is that the gap?
It's really scary. I won't even go into that. But anyways, we weren't really worried because she was so lovely. And then he came and we're like, oh fuck, this is not great. This is really shitty, actually.
Really easy toddler. You know?
Yeah. No, I mean, like I don't know if I have Stockholm syndrome, but I adore him.
Yeah,
like I love
course.
him. He's just so, yeah.
He
It could be Stockholm syndrome though, let's be honest.
Could be.
Yeah, he's my captor. Yeah. Yeah. This is like one of the first nights that I've actually been out of my home without my child. Oh, wow. Maybe actually the first night. It's been 7 months. I've never been out. Yeah. I'm free. Yeah. It's cute. I'm just gonna go wild.
Over.
Yeah, it's over. I'm leaving. Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, thank you for sharing. I'm sure you've told it like 800 times, and you're like, "Oh, great! I'm going on this podcast."
She told it.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, if you have another one, truly, we'll have to get together again.
I'll send you the picture.
Podcast live.
Thanks for listening, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.